Do you know other children who are using drugs? The answer is usually yes.
Many of you may be thinking, well, drugs don't concern me, but it does concern you.
Sometimes they make you kill someone, sometimes they make you beat up someone, stab someone.
Willie Horton, who murdered a boy in a robbery, stabbing him 19 times.
You start out in 1954 by saying
Jordan Miles says they beat me, choked me, and told me to shut up when I cried.
It is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
The war on drugs has been one of the most monumentally horrendous policy decisions in recent memory. It all started on June 18th, 1971, when President Richard Nixon, the criminal fraud responsible for breaking and entering into Watergate,
Well, I'm not a crook.
declared
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
the war against drugs had become an all-out offensive. With the advent of opiates like opium and softer drugs like marijuana, tobacco, and alcohol, more people became intoxicated, which contributed to a social slowdown. Along with that, technological advances created harder drugs, which in turn worsened the public health crisis and helped more people overdose. A half-century and more than $1 trillion later, however, it's clear the strategy for containing and neutralizing drug abuse hasn't worked. Americans live in a country where almost half of all arrests are for marijuana possession, where the number of prisoners and rate of incarceration is by far the highest in the rest of the world, and where, as Michelle Alexander, writer of the book The New Jim Crow, put it, the United States imprisons a larger percentage of its black population than South Africa did at the height of apartheid. When I was coming up with topics to talk about for this video, I thought that I'd be talking about a bad policy decision. A well-intentioned idea some people and politicians created to solve a growing problem in the US. That's what it seemed Nixon was doing back when he declared the war on drugs. But the more I looked, the deeper the rabbit hole went. The more lies kept appearing, and the more the true intentions of those in power became clear. More and more, the people of the United States see what a failure these policy decisions were. An overwhelming majority, 83%, of American citizens believe that Nixon and Reagan's war on drugs was a failure, with only 12% in approval of the measures taken. 66% of voters favor removing criminal penalties for drug possession and redirecting drug enforcement funds to treatment and addiction programs. And recently, President Biden pardoned every single offender in jail for marijuana possession charges on the federal level.
There are thousands of people who were previously convicted of simple possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result.
Given all of these recent changes, I find these questions worth answering. Why was this war on drugs so bad? How did we get to this point? How did the American public not see what mess they were headed into? And what can we do to undo this damage?
Because of the way it
Crack cocaine was taking over American cities. It was like cowboys and Indians out there for a while.